The one thing I just don't like, and I don't care what people say, I feel like there's a lot of hate on Caitlin Clark, and I think because she's white.
What if I told you the biggest scandal in sports right now isn't about a cheating scandal or a locker room fight, but how the WNBA is treating the one player saving their league? Caitlin Clark has sold out arenas, boosted ratings, and brought in a new generation of fans, and in return, she's being targeted, fouled hard, ignored by teammates, and even told to wait her turn. But now, NBA legends like Reggie Miller, Magic Johnson, and Charles Barkley are stepping in, and they're not holding back. Reggie says she should slap someone. Barkley calls the league jealous and petty. Rick Barry says players should be suspended, and others are comparing her to Tiger Woods. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about power, race, and a league risking everything by fumbling the one star who could save it. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what these legends said, why it matters, and what it means for the future of the WNBA. If you thought the hate was obvious, wait until you hear what they reveal next. In a moment that has shaken the sports media world, a unified chorus of NBA legends has come forward in defense of Caitlin Clark, the standout WNBA rookie who has drawn equal parts awe and animosity since entering the league. These aren't casual fans or random commentators. We're talking about basketball royalty like Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, Paul Pierce, Reggie Miller, Kevin Garnett, Rick Barry, and more, stepping up not just to praise her game, but to openly challenge the treatment she's receiving from fellow players, media voices, and the WNBA itself. What started as admiration has turned into a direct indictment of the system. These former greats aren't mincing words. They say Clark is not only being unfairly targeted on the court, but that the league is squandering its biggest star since its inception. With frustration mounting, they're now using their platforms to bring the issue to light, and their words are impossible to ignore. Jeff Teague, a former NBA All-Star known for his blunt honesty, made headlines when he declared Caitlin Clark the only reason people are watching the WNBA right now. In a candid statement, Teague said, "Ain't nobody going to watch basketball if she ain't playing," and doubled down, calling her the best player he's ever seen. That wasn't hyperbole, that was reality. Teague didn't speak from a place of fanboy admiration. He spoke as someone who understands star power and how it drives ratings. And Clark, in his view, isn't just a draw, she is the draw. His words weren't just praise, they were a wake-up call to a league that might be too close to the situation to see what's happening. Teague's unfiltered take elevated Clark from being the next big thing to a generational figure whose presence is making or breaking the league's visibility. When Teague compares her to LeBron, it's not about stats, it's about impact. And in this moment, the WNBA has never needed impact more. Then came Michael Thompson, two-time NBA champion and father of Golden State Warriors star Klay Thompson. Thompson recounted a personal encounter that reveals just how far Clark's influence has reached. While leaving Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, he found himself speechless as Clark passed him. Thompson, a man who has shared locker rooms with Magic Johnson and seen his own son become one of the greatest shooters in NBA history, was rendered silent, not by intimidation, but by awe. He didn't freeze in front of Jordan, didn't stutter around Magic, but when Caitlin Clark walked by, the words wouldn't come. That moment wasn't about celebrity, it was about witnessing a cultural force in real time. Thompson's story serves as a powerful reminder that Clark's impact isn't just statistical, it's emotional, psychological, and undeniably real. Magic Johnson, a man who once carried the NBA on his back alongside Larry Bird, added a layer of credibility that only he could provide. He acknowledged Clark's massive popularity, stating she's already the most recognized player in the WNBA. But he didn't stop there. Magic set a challenge, emphasizing that popularity isn't enough. She must dominate through her play, just as he and Bird did decades ago. He wasn't throwing shade, he was passing the torch with conditions. In comparing her early buzz to his own, Magic validated the notion that Clark's path mirrors the greats, not because of a media campaign, but because her game and charisma have made it inevitable. The implicit message was clear: Caitlin is already in the conversation, but now she must earn her place among the legends, just as they once did. Not everyone, however, was content with diplomacy. Reggie Miller, one of the fiercest fiercest competitors and sharpest tongues in NBA history, expressed frustration in a way only Reggie could. Seeing the repeated flagrant fouls and the eerie silence from the league, Miller suggested, half seriously, half furiously, that maybe Clark needs to retaliate physically to get the league's attention. "One slap," he said, "might be what it takes." It wasn't a call for violence. It was a cry for respect. Miller, who built his reputation on outshooting and out-talking the best, was clearly fed up with the WNBA's lack of protection for a player drawing record audiences and media attention. His comment, controversial as it was, cut through the noise and asked a pointed question: why isn't the league doing more to protect its biggest asset? Robert Horry, a 7-time NBA champion known for staying cool under pressure, took direct aim at a recent comment by Shaquille O'Neal, who said Clark should wait her turn. Horry wasn't having it. He reminded viewers that Shaq himself never waited for anything. The remark wasn't just a jab, it was a dismantling of the idea that respect must be earned only through time. Horry pointed out that Clark has already delivered results. She's brought new fans, new revenue, and elevated the entire league within months. And yet, the same system benefiting from her rise is asking her to be quiet and patient. Horry's message was clear: if the WNBA is already profiting from her presence, she's more than earned her spot at the top. Paul Pierce, another legend familiar with the weight of being the next big thing, brought a deeper understanding of the pressure Clark is facing. Pierce said no player in NBA or WNBA history has entered a league with this much expectation, attention, and hostility all at once. He acknowledged the usual challenges of stardom, but said Clark's situation is unprecedented. She's carrying not just the hopes of a franchise, but the visibility of an entire league, while also navigating narratives about race, entitlement, and peer jealousy. Pierce didn't sugarcoat it. He called it what it is: a storm that no one has ever had to walk into quite like this. And the fact that she's still standing speaks volumes about her mental toughness. Kevin Garnett, never one to shy away from the uncomfortable truth, reframed the hate Clark is getting as a sign of success. "If they're not mad," KG said, "you're not doing enough." To Garnett, the backlash is validation. It means Clark is shaking things up, disrupting the system, and challenging the status quo. He called it a privilege to be hated, because hate, in Garnett's world, only comes when you're a threat. His point was simple but powerful: the hate proves the hype is real. And for a league seeking relevance, that's exactly the kind of player it needs to support, not sabotage. Rick Barry, Hall of Famer and one of the sharpest basketball minds of his era, didn't stop at analysis. He demanded action. Barry called the league's tolerance of flagrant fouls against Clark reprehensible and said players targeting her should face fines and suspensions. He didn't argue for special treatment. He argued for fairness. Barry pointed out the double standard, asking why similar fouls against male stars would result in penalties, while Clark's incidents are met with shrugs. His take was less about Clark as a victim and more about the league's failure to enforce its own standards when it matters most. In his view, silence from the top is complicity. George Gervin, the Iceman, known for his calm demeanor and cool confidence, brought perhaps the most thoughtful take of all. He didn't just defend Clark. He praised her as the single biggest reason WNBA players are flying private, getting better TV slots, and finally reaping benefits they fought for over decades. Gervin likened her to Tiger Woods, a once-in-a-generation figure who doesn't just dominate a sport, but transforms its economy. His point was that Clark is lifting everyone: teammates, opponents, the league itself. And yet, she's the one being fouled hardest. Gervin turned his comments into a challenge for players and unions alike. Recognize the value she brings, protect her, and build with her, not against her. Finally, Charles Barkley dropped the mic in typical Barkley fashion. On live television, he declared that the WNBA has completely mishandled Caitlin Clark's arrival, calling out petty jealousy, biased commentary, and league mismanagement. Barkley reminded viewers that the WNBA is now seeing the kind of attention and financial benefits it's always wanted, and it's all because of one player. And yet, instead of rallying around her, some veterans have chosen to belittle her, media voices have gone silent on the abuse she faces, and the league has failed to intervene. Barkley didn't say these things to be controversial. He said them because they're true. His message? Caitlin Clark has already changed the WNBA. Now it's time for the WNBA to change how it treats her, or risk losing everything she's brought to the table.